Oh, good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof, and welcome. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof. Give me one moment, because apparently my stream cannot hear the Discord audio for some reason.
There we are.
There we
Hi.
go.
Wait, we're what?
There
Okay,
I'm behind.
We're live. We're live.
We're live, and I'm behind Isaac.
We're live, and
Yeah.
What now?
What happened?
oh boy.
I'm not even gonna bother.
Oh,
Right.
I've stolen Lucian's identity again.
I'm going to take
Not
a nap.
just that.
You put
Ed
that
and
face back
Siren
where it
are in the
belongs.
same place, apparently.
High five!
Hi everybody.
I swear to God!
We've been troubleshooting in TaleSpire because Lucian hit the goddamn asset limit through greebling, and then we had camera difficulties, and now we're here.
Yep. Oh, there. Wait, what?
Uh-huh. No.
What?
Nope.
I guess I should get Chatterino open and a couple of things going here.
I've stolen Lucian's identity.
Yeah, you have.
Uh-huh.
Wait, no, you haven't. I'm me.
Aaron is Ed.
Lying is lying.
Aaron. Saren is Ed.
Ed is Ed. Siren is Ed. Luca is me. I am Luca. I have stolen a Luca's identity. That's what's happened this time.
Alright,
Stuck with
roll,
brain damage, Chief.
roll switch.
Oh, my little guy's still high. I forgot about that. My little talk sprite guy still has red eyes. Whoopsie. I get to use that art again in fucking 7 days. Now Lucian and Siren are in my box. Get out.
Pardon?
I said what I said.
Okay.
Okay, now Luca is in a Luca's box. And now I just need to fix.
My box. Yeah, there you go. There I am.
Apologies to everyone who just tuned in. We are, as usual, with every single one of these streams having technical difficulties because
That's D&D,
And it's not
baby.
my fault this time.
somehow, yeah.
The camera was your fault.
No, it wasn't. It worked on my end.
Wait. With all this positioning bollocks, is it because of the order we log into Discord, or do you just not have a scene set up for this setup
It's
and you
pretty
are
much
recreating it every time?
It's a case of the first time we had Rose and Fluffle who didn't have cameras. Then the second time they did have cameras, so it changed the order. And the next time one of them did and one of them didn't, so it changed the order again. If we maintain our current
clicked
party with our
dodge.
current camera setup, this should be the setup that we use from now on, and I should never have to change it again. There we go.
Best of luck.
Okay, right.
We'll have to get Lying a talk sprite.
Lion should have a talk sprite.
Yeah.
Should be their default
Oh, there
one,
it
if
is.
anything.
Okay, right.
I'm not bothering with that right now. I'm just keeping my normal screen, just going.
Okay.
Nope.
Here we are,
Good
everyone.
evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof, and welcome to session 5, finally, of Shadows of Sorcery. We are 45 minutes late, as usual. But you know what? We'll deal with it. Okay. Why is my... Who's using magic attacks?
Everyone.
What do you think?
Of course, everyone.
No, it's the assets.
No, as in it is actively shaking my screen, and making it annoying to work.
I'm being good for
Uh-huh.
now.
Anyway, tonight we are joined by our newest player, who has elected to join the campaign, our dear friend Lying in Bedmon.
Willingly and through no force of blackmail.
a dwarf. Tell us a little bit about this dwarf before we get into the campaign. Just some small tidbits, like.
What's that about my bits?
Some tids. They're small.
Well, something I heard, something small.
My
hate
dwarf is
you
called
all.
Darren. Canonically, they speak with an Irish accent, but I won't inflict that upon you all.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Okay, so. Last we left off, our intrepid band of idiots had just.
That's me!
It is you, yes. Had just conquered their way through the first section of the catacombs of the Cathedral of the Seven Gods.
I wouldn't say
Devil's Head.
conquered, more like ran like a little bitch.
We got our ass
Lord
whooped by some
Capson!
rats.
Lord Capson gifting 10 tier 1 subs to the community! Lord Capson, good lord! Good lord, Lord Capson. Welcome. Thank you. What in the world? Right. Hold on.
What were your
Let
health
me run
points,
through
Siren?
this very quickly, then we'll get back to the stream.
My health points currently are at 6 of 13.
Great.
Lord Capson,
Yeah.
thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Max Longhold,
Currently at 15 of
Caleb
15.
Darklord, Challenge 733,
Yeah.
Sawtooth 44,
Rat didn't do too much to you.
Guyver 074,
No, it's more that the rat didn't get through the
me,
temporary hit
Jared,
points.
Resi,
Yeah.
Mr. Calzone, and Crawling Chaos. Thank you very much. Alright, okay. Okay, what the... I see. Okay, so, last we left off, we had seen our party venture into the catacombs and beat down the horde of rats that decided it was a good idea to attack them. And they are now settling in, as it were, to the comforts of a dark, gloomy, cobweb, dust-filled catacomb.
It's free
Just
real estate.
below the floor of the cathedral.
It's not for real estate. There's rats down here. There's rats.
Pull us down. Right. Here
Wise
we
rats.
are. There is a tree down here. Don't worry about it. Okay.
What? Okay.
There's a tree?
The bed of
All right.
chaos!
Okay. So, you three have come to a small pile of rubble down the eastern corridor. And don't worry, Lion, we will get to your character in a bit. But for now, we will pick up where we left off with these three. What
I'll
are
just be
you
talking to this
guys
goose at her.
doing?
Yes.
How much room is there through the rubble here? Is this something that could easily be
It can
vaulted over?
easily be climbed over. It's
Okay.
mainly loose stones, bricks, just generally like small pieces of rubble. You could probably easily just climb over it.
That rat did tell us not to go any further.
Come on, you slackers, let's go.
And just for confirmation, Lucian, we are now doing the you move your mini, you've moved thing, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
From now on, if you move your mini in a specific direction, I will be taking it as you have moved in that specific direction.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna be honest, you guys move your minis around a lot. So at this point, I'm more inclined to take it as if you guys are moving, you are moving, not telling me you want to move.
Yeah. It actually saves on us telling you we want to move, which helps.
So, yeah, good luck dealing with Saren's chaotic existence.
I just think we
already
should get
done
him a
so.
baby leash.
Who is strong enough to leash to the barbarian?
I think if putting in the effort to show other people that we did attempt to do something.
Yes, all the other people down in this catacomb.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. I'm sure there's some more rats down here that are wise enough to know.
I mean, I've had no problem biting a rat. What makes you think I won't bite your hand?
You did
Or
have
just
problem
bite the
biting a
leash.
rat. You did have problem biting the rat. You took a
No, I
lot of
didn't.
damage.
I didn't take damage from biting the rat.
It's like the one thing you didn't take damage from. Can I do an
Anyway.
investigation check to see if there's any like traces of life in this section of the catacombs? Because it does look like somebody probably cleared the rubble, sort of situation.
Yeah. Roll me investigation.
That's not very good.
That is
No.
not.
That's
very
not
No,
good.
it's
very
not.
good.
Everything down here is dead. You're pretty
Fair
sure.
enough. Yeah, it's a 7, not a 6. No, I'm kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
You're
do
still
anything.
pretty sure pretty much everything down here is dead, as far as you can tell.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you arrive to a fork in the tunnels. One leads past a very, very dented, broken-looking iron gate. The bars have been ripped off, the stonework is falling apart. It looks like this thing took a beating from something. So that's down one hall. And down the other
Which
hall...
one? Straight or right?
So,
the
straight
straight
ahead
one is the one with the
on
gate.
your
Straight
left-
ahead is the gate.
Yeah, straight
Okay.
ahead on your left is the battered gate, but the hall does continue on down that way. On your right is another hall, which disappears into the darkness. Okay.
Should
Siren is going to the right.
Guillaume kind of like taps Isaac and goes, "Would your order protect the thing that they have put down here, perhaps with that gate?"
I mean, they put it down here in the middle of bloody nowhere. I've no idea. Probably best to follow the barbarian before he gets himself in too much trouble, though.
Why is Sean Connery in the party?
Where did my fucking mini go?
Oh, look, a spider.
Yeah, there is a spider down here. It is not an encounter. It is literally
on.
just a very big spider that is
No,
sitting.
no,
highlight your
murder.
mini for
That
you.
counts as an
Other
encounter.
cut.
Murder it.
There you go. There's
It
your
is
mini.
sitting on top.
No, I
of,
can see the mini. It's just I'm having some trouble with the movement
yeah,
again.
It is currently sitting on top of one of the large stone sarcophagi, and it hisses at you quite
Kill it.
vigorously. It does
Guillaume
not
charges
seem
up-
pleased by your existence, but it makes no move to attack at the moment.
I'm
Guillaume's
not pleased by its
I'll take-
existence.
I hiss back at it.
I'm gonna charge up
Actually,
Eldritch
you're gonna
Blast.
hiss back at the spider.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wait,
nothing
I'm
with
gonna
any
use-
legs
I'm gonna
with
use the
power
help
to
action.
hiss.
I'm gonna help him hiss.
I'm gonna try to intimidate it and hiss back at it.
So I'm helping whatever he has to roll is advantaged.
Can I also help? Because I'm definitely. You all didn't let me shoot that fucking rat, but boy howdy
Oh
do
my
I
God.
don't
I
like the
think
spider.
you charging up Eldritch is enough for help in this one.
Fine.
Because if this roll goes
Roll
stupid, then
me.
you gotta fire.
Yeah, well,
Roll
that's
me
interesting.
intimidation with advantage.
To roll twice.
Already grateful for the advantage.
I don't like the holy shit.
Not that much.
Great. Add your
Okay.
intimidation bonus to it though.
+3, so it's 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
What
and
are
it is
your
a-
intimidation bonuses, Luke and Ed?
Sorry?
You really want us to scare the spider? All right, cool.
No,
That's another +3.
I'm asking because I need to know for a thing later on.
+3.
Great, +3.
Okay.
Do we all
Okay,
have +3
so the
intimidation?
spider is not particularly happy at this point.
Yeah.
It looks at you with its many beady eyes, and proceeds to, how do I describe this without it sounding weird?
That's a good start.
There's no
That's a great
way.
start. That's a great start.
It does the equivalent of a cowboy spitting on the floor at you.
Fair enough. I understand.
It's not impressed. The spider
Fair
is
enough.
not impressed.
Fair enough.
That actually didn't sound weird, and if you hadn't prefaced it, it wouldn't have sounded weird.
I didn't know how to describe it.
Fair enough.
I look over
I hate
at
it.
Isaac. You want to take a shot at it?
Not today. I've had enough problems with the critters already.
And then just keep walking forward.
Guillaume is gonna
Okay.
roll his eyes and then just kind of quietly follow along at vague-ish distance.
As you walk down a corridor, you start hearing a muffled thumping sound.
I
We
am
detect
simply
where
going.
it's from.
Yeah.
It seems to be coming from one of the stone sarcophagi that is held in the left side of the tunnel.
Isaac's just going to raise one hand as much as Guillaume could see anyway. I know Gilk's in front of him. And just kind of do the... Again, I can't describe it, but the one sort of like SWAT team gesture of move quietly that's in like every first-person shooter ever.
Can I say that I actually have the charge of Eldritch Blast, like, readied?
Yeah.
One in the chamber.
Yeah, one in the chamber. Though I'm the only party member that does not have guns.
You're not the only party member who doesn't have guns. The only party member who does have guns is Ed.
No,
No, I think
Siren has
Gilk's
large
got
arms,
guns.
and the dwarf also has large arms, I imagine.
I'm
Yeah.
only strength 11.
I see.
Okay, fair enough.
I see.
I'm a rogue. I deal with
fair
stabbing
enough.
people rapidly over and
I've
over.
seen
That's
strength
about
rogue.
it.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
you could do that very well with a firearm as well.
Roll perception check to see if I can tell which coffin it's coming from? Question mark. If I'm in the vicinity of
You
hearing
are
something.
in the vicinity. Yeah. Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
I'll assist.
9.
With
Perception
advantage,
is.
since Siren did say it's sort of gun time.
I said it
Okay.
before the roll. That's what it counts.
Is
Yeah,
anything ever really on time when accounting for Discord lag?
Where did that die go?
It wedged
Uh,
itself between two coffins.
Okay.
That's a
What is it with the advantages only going up one?
I've got a 12 for that.
Okay. You can pretty much tell which coffin it's coming from. The thumping is pretty loud at this point. It is coming from the coffin at the far end of the corridor on the left.
Can you use the little ruler thing to point to it?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Oh, left.
Oh.
This one.
This guy?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, cool.
Well, I was going
dancing
to say
on-
I'm gonna
I'm
put a
dancing
hand
on his
Gilk and
grave.
stop him, but apparently Gilk's now dancing on it.
I mean, that is movement. That is movement. You've moved your mini. Guillaume is
I
going
was
to look
using
at
it to
Isaac.
show.
Guillaume is going to look at Isaac and go, I do not wish to disturb the dead.
Probably
No
for
matter
the
how
best,
alive
with
they
a
are.
hand on Gilk, if that's
The
allowed. Just
banging
probably
sound
for the best.
continues on the coffin lid. It is a heavy stone sarcophagus. Aluka, you notice that beside the sarcophagus is a small backpack, and the edges of the lid seem to have been scraped at.
Look at Isaac and take my rapier out and kind of just like motion to the coffin. Do you think someone is in there?
I'm gonna knock on the lid.
Never mind then.
And we cut to black, to
There we go.
about 2 hours before the events of this current occurrence. To a what in the... That's new.
Oh, okay.
Here we
Alright.
go.
Oh, the
Okay,
cup.
Jesus.
I'm not gonna worry about that too much. It just seems like I am slowly... Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Whatever.
You've got weird X-ray vision. I see.
I've got weird X-ray vision, and I'm not sure why it's doing that.
Oh,
I'm
bottom
gonna
right, N.
call you flying over to this building right here, where you are currently having a rather intense argument with the owner of this alchemy shop. You came to this town searching for a specific something, and you heard that this alchemist might have some of the ingredients. You came to this area because Danis Eld is known to sit on the edge of what is called the Dragonspine Cliffs. And it is known to be called the Dragonspine Cliffs because it looks like the spine of a giant dragon that once laid down here, maybe hundreds of thousands of years ago. And the chalk that is mined here is known to have relatively magical properties in a lot of places and in a lot of ways. So you have come here with a purchase in mind, and you are currently talking to this alchemist for that reason. And the alchemist is being difficult. He looks fairly hoity-toity, a little bit upper crust, as it were. He's wearing very fine-looking clothing. It is covered in pretty embroidered stitching. Everything that he's wearing about him tells you posh, bit of an arse, essentially. Currently what he's saying is, those sorts of alchemical materials are very, very hard to get. I couldn't part with them for less than 150 gold at least.
Gonna bargain you down to 40.
No, I'm afraid not. No, absolutely not.
45.
No. No. The
50, final offer.
Ancient dragon spine dust is incredibly difficult to find. You would not be able to find
51, and I don't meet you down a dark alley later tonight.
I absolutely not. Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me, sir? I can call the guards on you this moment. And
I roll persuasion to haggle this.
As you watch, a guard is actually just walking down the street right now. And the alchemist continues blabbering on about this and that. Eventually he goes, the only place that you could find alchemical bone dust like this, this ancient substance, would either be in the mines or maybe in some dead alchemist's pocket. I don't know. But the mines are heavy.
I'm becoming increasingly idealistic on that second one.
And the alchemist just keeps on going and going. He will not shut up. To the point where he is really starting to get quite annoying.
Dead alchemist, you say. Where might I find one of those? Assuming you're not up for volunteering.
How dare you? Desecration of the catacombs would be completely against any sort of...
Right, catacombs, I'll take it.
No, you cannot enter the... Where are you going? Wait, come back here! Guards! And the guard looks at this alchemist man and just sort of shrugs and keeps walking. Apparently, this alchemist is not particularly well liked.
Well, that just means you've got two options.
To the guard as it goes past.
Mm-hmm. The guard sort of nods his head and clanks past. Essentially, he's wearing pretty heavy padded metal and stuff. Okay. So you don't know much about the catacombs. And you have technically arrived here before the people that are currently in the catacombs in the present hour. So the catacombs, you would not be able to enter them the route that the main party has taken, because it is not open yet. However, you do know a little bit about the surrounding area. You know that the church was built essentially on massive cliffs. and
I missed
lot
like
of
10
the...
seconds of that.
What?
I missed 10 seconds of that sliver fired a laser on my stream.
Oh, I see. There is an extensive amount of work that was done to hollow out the undersides of the cliffs here. You could probably talk to someone around here who knows more, essentially.
Pity, it appears to be their day off and there's no one around.
Oh, trust me, there are people. I can bring them in. Hopefully that
Okay.
will work. now.
Hopefully they're visible.
Just such a tragic state that there's only 2 people living in this entire city.
There are more than 2 people. Let's see. Let me bring in the correct miniature for this. It's...
You have enough room?
Yes.
You sure you have enough room for the miniatures?
Yes.
Why
there
are we
go.
turning into Waldorf and Stettler?
Can you see this miniature in particular?
No.
Not inside the church, not in front of the dwarf. Nothing.
No. I do not see a miniature appearing in front of the dwarf.
Fucking hell. Okay, I will describe this man briefly because that's annoying. Oh, Sliver. No, I'm not doing sit-ups right now. I need to tell a story. I will do sit-ups later. I'll do them during our section of the stream.
Wow, rude.
Right. So, the man who stands before you is a priest. He's wearing a long black cassock. He seems genteel, or relatively well-mannered at the very least. And he is... he has a welcoming aura, you would say. And he seems to be noting something down in a little ledger that he's holding in front of him. You're facing him right now.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, now I see him.
Oh, lovely. Good. Okay. He is currently writing something in a ledger. You could approach him if you wish.
Well, it seems like my best opportunity is to approach him.
Okay.
Excuse me, Father. You got a spare moment for me?
My certainly, my friend. And saying this, he
Lunching through his lunch, apparently.
Look, I'm eating a chocolate orange. He says. Sorry.
It's a delicacy in these parts.
It really is. You know, I've never had a chocolate orange before, not until today.
How?
I don't think I've ever had a chocolate orange.
They're standard for like every Christmas.
I
You get
wish I had a chocolate
it's
orange.
just the norm.
England.
I wish I had a
used to
chocolate
live
orange. I'm
anywhere
just
in
trying to get
the
off
UK.
chocolate and caffeine.
Oh,
I
rip.
used to live out
rip
in
to the
uh,
caffeine.
Well, it's either you get a chocolate orange or you stick a candle into an actual orange, which is a weird tradition.
Yes. That I've
Okay.
seen this tradition is very weird.
Anyway, he
Who
says,
wants
yes,
warm
yes,
orange?
I'm more than happy to help you. What can I help you with young man? And he folds his little ledger away and tucks it into a concealed pocket in his cassock.
I've been reviewing the histories of alchemy in this area, and there's a number of alchemists that I believe might be buried in this location that are of significant historic importance. And I was wondering if you might be able to give me access to the catacombs to verify their whereabouts. And I
Oh,
can
I
roll
wish-
persuasion about that if needed.
There is nothing you can persuade him about here. I wish I could, young man. I really do wish I could, but the catacombs have been sealed off for a good 5-10 years now, and nobody knows how to get in. I hesitate to say it, but well, someone of keen climbing disposition may be able to enter them through the lower section of the catacombs, through the harbor, but it would be very dangerous. There's no telling how much trouble that could be to get in through, unless you had a ladder or maybe a rope. or a grappling hook. That might work. Although at the same time, I believe there's a very vicious flock of owls nesting there at the moment, and the doors are sealed shut as well. You wouldn't be able to get in. What am I thinking about? And mumbling, the priest sort of walks off down the hall of the cathedral. He seems to be more lost
Crazy?
in thought. Yeah.
He seems to be
Someone say my
crazy.
name?
No, I said he seems to be crazy.
He's just mumbling to himself now, and he's just off walking down the church. He doesn't seem to expect you to follow him. You could if you wanted to.
Do I follow the doddering old guy, or do I go to the dogs?
I mean, the doddering old guy only looks to be in about his maybe early 30s. He doesn't seem to be doddering, he just seems to be absent-minded.
You're in your 20s and you're a doddering old man.
Shut up. I drink enough tea to be a doddering old man, that's for sure.
You certainly do.
Well, he mentioned something about a door. I can maybe pry that open.
Possibly.
Got a lock on it.
I'm a rogue.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first door I've illegally opened.
To the docks to fist fight some owls.
Well, it's up to you, Line. Where would you like to go? You could chase this man down for more information, or you could go to the docks.
Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
He's gone.
He
He's gone to the
he
docks.
teleported to the docks. Fair enough.
With the quickness of a man whose short legs only last so long.
Okay.
I'm
as
gonna
you...
fist fight an owl. Where are we?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are currently down on the main plaza nearby the docks, and you notice as you're walking by, you see a halfling standing under a tree with a pack donkey, sort of yelling at a guardsman who seems to be trying their hardest to placate this basically yowling halfling. And the halfling is yelling about something inane. You can't really tell what they're talking about. It's just constant, a constant stream of yelling of what seems to be some very, very strange curses and swears. And as you watch, the guard sort of backs off, and from down the street comes a much heavier set guard in full plate armor. And this guard looks tall, very tall, in fact. And as a dwarf, you're sort of used to being around humans who are tall. But this person is enormous. Like, this person stands at around 7'5", essentially. Like, if you didn't know any better...
Anything taller than 5'1" is just showing up.
And if you didn't know any better, you'd say this person was half giant, essentially. And they walk down into this area. They pick up the pack donkey over one shoulder and walk off again. And suddenly the halfling is just standing there staring, and then takes off running after the person who's essentially taken their donkey on one shoulder and walked off down the road. And
that can't be inside protocol.
yeah. So
That's his
and
livelihood
as
there.
all of this yelling and stuff dies down, as the halfling and the heavy-set guards just walk away, you notice an owl that seems to have been disgruntledly disturbed awake by all of the yelling, fly down to the side of one of the stone walls that's above the harbor and disappear. At least from the angle you're at.
Where am I looking for that?
You are looking... Hold on, let me draw you a ruler. There.
Ooh. Oh.
Ah.
Is the first guard still here?
No. The first guard is following the halfling away at the moment.
Ed, I completely agree with that picture.
Thank you.
What would you like to do? Yes, that is basically what is happening, Ed. That is
All of us are just
basically
posting
what is
memes.
happening.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that seems like the obvious point of entry, but getting around that edge could be a problem.
Okay. Well, you can either try and find a way to get over that obstacle, or you can try and dexterity it.
I do have passable dexterity, but I also have extremely bad luck.
Do you have
Mhm.
rope?
I do have rope.
Might I suggest?
If I turn the rope into a lasso and catch one of the gargoyles above me, then I could Tarzan it over.
The
But
thing
that's,
is, if you do...
that's maybe an acrobatics thing that I will not succeed at.
Isn't there also a guard right the fuck there?
No, he wanted
the
off.
guards are walking away.
That was the first thing I checked.
Look
I didn't realize
over-
Griff was in this game.
As you look over at the owl, where the owl is standing, you hear a splashing sound, and you notice below you is what looks like, at least you're fairly certain, there is a shark swimming around in the water near the wall.
A
What's
shark, you say? A shark, you say?
A
shark?
Yes.
A shark?
Calm.
Come closer, Sushi.
That is a-
What you could
That is a
try-
big fish, wow.
At the moment,
No wonder
what
this
you
place
can
is so
see
prosperous.
is there are several wooden boards, fairly sturdy-looking wooden boards, sticking out of the wall where the owl disappeared. You could maybe try and lasso it. That is definitely an option. Alternatively, you could try bridging the gap with something. It is quite far, though.
I am gonna go for lassoing it, I think.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna regret this, but I'm gonna try and lasso it.
I don't have
Okay.
hands, but I'm giving you a thumbs up.
Roll me...
Fall in the shark. Fall
Presume
in
this
the
is
shark.
acrobatics.
Yes, this would be acrobatics. And I'm gonna say acrobatics with advantage because it's a fairly short
Oh, thank
gap.
Christ.
Wow.
That's gonna be hard to beat.
Might as well give
Well-
it a go.
Remember, if it's with advantage, it's gonna be a +1.
What do you know?
Oh my...
Oh,
It's true!
called it.
22
Okay.
total.
Well,
Okay.
Nailed it.
well.
Would you like
First
to
session,
describe
first
this
roll,
event?
I get a nat 20.
Would you like to
Godspeed,
describe
Lung.
this event?
I think I'm gonna Tarzan this. Okay, so Darren pulls out his hemp rope, leashes it into a kind of a noose, hurls it onto the one of the gargoyles just above me there, and swings around and deftly dislodges the rope as I arrive.
Anything you give us involving a fucking shark, we will roll a nat 20. Hope this
With
helps.
all the grace of a seasoned circus performer.
And surprise, owl.
Uh-huh. As you swing onto the platform, the owl that was nesting in the alcove is not happy. Roll me initiative.
Oh boy.
Punch that owl, bitch. Get that owl.
1.
1?
1
Into the water
for
with
a
me.
total of 8.
Ugh.
The owl rolls a 6. The owl gets to attack first. And
Wait, hang on, it's not the other way around. I rolled the higher number.
what?
Lying has an 8.
Lang has an 8?
I rolled
wait,
1, but my modifier is +7.
Oh!
Speaking
yeah,
of which,
yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, by the way.
Yeah, good lord. That is a
I'm
hell
a
of
rogue, it
modifier.
comes in handy.
No, that's from alert.
Is it from alert?
Yeah,
Plus
alert's
five
is
like
partially
plus
initiative.
5 to initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. No, yeah, that is...
I am.
There was a lot of feats I could have taken, but that one seemed the most flavorful.
Someone
This
This is
remind
why
my
I was
dumbass.
surprised you
to
gave
feed.
everyone feats.
The owl is startled and surprised by your sudden appearance on its home, basically, its little ledge.
It's a wizard!
And it who the hell is doing that?
Did you hear noise, or was that something in game?
It's
It's somebody's
Siren
magic
using
missile.
the spell casting.
I
It's
see.
annoying and it's causing problems for me visually, so please stop.
Oh.
No dice clouds, no spells.
Spells are okay if we're in combat, but use them appropriately, please.
As I understand this game just started and you've literally jumped the shark. No, actually, this game started and I hit a shark for immense max damage and turned it into sushi in one hit.
I
Yeah.
just arrived here and jumped the shark.
You've just arrived and jumped the shark.
Yes. The first shark they encountered, Aluka turned into sushi by killing it in one shot.
With
The
a
second shark
d20
has
and then
been-
double damage.
Yeah. Okay. What would you like to do against this owl, which is clearly very angry that you have disturbed it for the second time today?
Ordinarily, I wouldn't consider an owl much of a threat, but I'm level 1 and everything's a threat.
Scott's,
Well, also
it's
on
not
a
shark.
cliff.
The owl
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
looking at you with murder in its eyes.
That's owls, baby. That's just owls.
Also explains why that owl was so pissed earlier on.
Do I persuade it?
The one that bit Gilk.
You want to try and
Ah.
you want to try and persuade the owl.
I mean, I don't get my sneak attack against an alert owl, so...
You let me philosophize with a rat.
You can
That's fair.
try and persuade the owl. You can give it a go. I can't promise it'll go well for you, but you can give it a go.
I do have a +6 on persuasion. How many hit points does an owl have?
You don't know.
I know the answer to that, but that's metagaming.
Well, I'm in a literally very precarious position right now, so I guess I'm going to have to go with murder. I will take out the more worn of my 2 daggers and go for the eyes, I guess.
Okay, roll it. Ooh.
And that is a 13.
Okay, 13. You
How
hit.
easily can.
So
I would have
roll-
been worried if a 13 didn't hit an owl.
Well, owls are flighty. So.
Okay, for damage, that will be a mighty and powerful 1d4.
Yeah.
What is finesse? Do I add my dexterity to that? I don't know how finesse works in 5e.
It should.
Finesse just means you literally can use strength or dex to do the attack.
Well, roll me a d4. A 2. The owl screeches, startled, as you swipe at it with the dagger, and immediately hops off the ledge and takes flight, and it is gone.
Good enough for me.
You tried to stab it, and it decided, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna go.
What do you mean
something
tried
else.
to stab it? I succeeded.
Did a little
Yeah,
stab.
it got a little stabbed, and it is now pissed, but at the same time it realizes that actually it doesn't want to deal with the fact that there's a dwarf sitting on its nest that tried to stick a knife in it. So, yeah.
How rude.
Okay. You may now enter the catacombs, and I'm gonna very quickly...
Bye.
Give me a sec.
Where'd your character go?
Hold on. Let me just get your character into the area where the catacombs are, so that you don't have to deal with that stuff, because there is so much other stuff
Ooh.
going on.
This is why you make the catacombs as a separate map, Lucian.
I didn't
We know
use
this now.
Catacombs as the separate map because honestly I couldn't be bothered, and also I like putting things together in the same place.
And then you hit assets and wonder why suddenly no one exists.
I think that's a more of a bug with the current version of TaleSpire because they're adding Hero Forge integration soon, and that's causing other stuff to break. Okay. Right. You have managed to enter the rear section of the catacombs. It is very dark in here, but you can light a torch.
I light my torch.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, wait, no, I'm a dwarf. Dark vision, turn on.
Oh, yeah, that is also a thing. You can light your torch anyway to act as dark vision.
My chroma key eyes.
But yeah. In front of you, there is a large, pretty heavy stone door. It is engraved with a variety of different patterns. It looks heavy. It does not, I should point out, have a lock.
I found a random 1d4 in the bush.
Oh, that's what I'm doing in the hat. I give it a shove.
Okay.
See, it seems like checking if it's actually opened first is a good starting point.
You
Before I
push
spend
against
5
the
hours
door.
here trying to like hack the thing.
You push against the door, and you feel it budge slightly under your weight. It feels like it's open, but it feels like it's heavy.
Okay, I give it a hearty shove then, I guess.
Roll me strength.
$19.
Damn it, this was the door I
Okay.
couldn't open.
Okay.
That is a total of 19.
Fair enough. You heave your shoulder against the door. You push with all your might, and eventually, with a little bit of leverage and force, you manage to get the door scraped open enough to get through it. And you close it behind you so as to not leave any tracks. Don't worry, I'll open the door for you. There you go.
Sadly, you cannot open
Arrow
doors for
keys.
yourself in
Use
this
the
game.
arrow keys.
Use the arrow keys to travel. It's easier.
Ah, so it is.
And you have entered the main catacombs. It is quite dark down here. There is a single light source to your left from a candle that is lit.
Do you mean my right?
Yes, sorry, right. I'm sort of spinning the map around a lot, so I'm seeing things from all different angles.
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
There it goes.
Yeah, so there is there is a candle lit at the base of a statue in the main hall, and you don't know what it's doing. Nobody seems to have been down here for God knows how long, except for you recently. But the candle is lit, and yeah.
If no one's been down here for an age, like the priest said, then why are there lit torches and candles down here?
Oh, I should point out the torches are not actually lit. Siren
If no
had me
one's been
light
down
them.
here for an age, like the priest said, then why is there a lit candle here?
And you- Siren had me light those torches, and I literally just went, "Are you gonna make me light every single torch in this place?"
Yes,
Because
of
I-
course. As a dwarf, I don't have to care, but of course.
Someone else agrees with me. Thank you.
That's
You have
dangerous.
'em
Nothing
there.
else, it tells you where you've been.
Yeah, you have them there.
It's
For a
important
reason.
dungeoneering.
It's dangerous.
I'm not sure if this is a bug or a feature, to be quite honest. Oh well.
The X-ray vision, it's
bugs?
definitely a feature.
It's definitely a feature.
Yeah, I don't know how I activated it, and I don't know how I deactivated it. So. Oh, well.
X-ray vision? What X-ray vision?
Close your library, maybe?
And on the lower
No.
right.
N. Oh, cat box. Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
that's what that is.
I did not know.
For when your DM makes an incredibly dense map that you can't see through because of all the pieces.
Well, it happens. Where would you like to go?
Well, there's stairs up, but Priest was pretty clear that that's probably blocked. Is there an inscription on the statue with the handle?
There is an inscription. It is in a very... what languages do you know, like?
Common and Dwarven.
Okay. The script on the base is not written in either language that you are familiar with. It is a very loopy, sort of long script.
Elves, damn it.
Possibly. It is possible. But yeah, the statue that is on the plinth is the statue of what you think might be a paladin of some sort.
I'm gonna leave that for the moment and head down the doorway to my right.
Okay. You enter a long corridor. It has sarcophagi on each side. The inscriptions on these sarcophagi are in common.
Do any of them seem to refer to an alchemist?
None so far. Most of these seem like they refer to priests or scholars, professors. None that you recognize as an alchemist's name.
Is there a reason that there's a random tree in here?
Yeah, it's providing the backdrop for Damani's throne above it.
Oh.
Sometimes you plant a tree. Yeah.
I mean,
Depending on where you die, sometimes a tree plants you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, there appears to be a pile of
Uh,
rubble over here, but I think I can probably scrabble over that fairly easily.
Yes, the rubble is about half as tall as you are. You could probably easily get over it.
Damn, chest-high wall.
Did you disappear our minis, Lucian?
I did, yes.
Okay, just checking.
temporarily.
Just check it wasn't TaleSpire being itself.
Weird then.
TaleSpire being TaleSpire.
Yeah, don't worry. I dissipated them temporarily. As you walk further on down the corridor, you reach another pile of rubble, and the broken down gate that the other party members will get to eventually.
Some other party members will probably get to this eventually.
Wow.
As you walk near the gate, you hear a sudden clanging sound.
Oh
Something
no, the
like
physics engine's bugged.
something like metal hitting metal. Which direction would you like to go?
Siren peeked his mic, so I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, same.
I just heard E.
Yeah,
I
your
was
mic
saying
peeked.
keen.
Oh, keen.
Yeah?
Yes. Clang and
Does
keen.
does it sound like blacksmithing? That's something I'm relatively familiar with.
No, it sounds like someone hitting a sword on a pillar or something like that.
As odd as that is, I'm not supposed to be here.
That's fair. As you continue down the hall, you start to notice that there are more familiar titles on the sarcophagi. There is a woman named Debonia, who seems to be known as a potion crafter. There is a tiefling marked as Rehman, who is known as a master of sort of rune crafting. So this seems to be more what you're looking for in this area.
I searched the room, I guess the phrase would be.
So
I
you
guess
search the
more
room.
specifically, this is literally looting the bodies, but for the moment, I'll just search the room.
You search the room. As you get further and further down the corridor, you find 3 coffins that seem fairly remarkable. The first is of the ancient mage, or rather wizard, who is... His name is scrubbed out. It's like it's been actively stricken from the record. The plaque is scratched away, but you can see that he was a wizard, and he was fairly well known as well. The other 2 are both alchemists, and they are in the final alcove of the area. The first one is marked as a senior alchemist, and the second one is marked as a master alchemist. You don't really know what the difference is between the 2 of them.
Well, senior always used to mean older, so I guess I'll loot the master.
Okay. Roll... Actually, how would you like to attempt to open this stone coffin?
I have an explorer's pack and thieves' tools, so
Okay.
eventually.
You have a crowbar.
Okay. Roll me... Actually, no. You don't need to roll me anything for this. You manage to eventually pry open the coffin, and you keep the lid open with the crowbar that is in your pack. And you peer inside, but it's so dark that even with your
I
dark
can
vision,
literally see in the dark.
even with your dark vision, it is very difficult to make out what is inside the coffin.
That's not how dark vision works, but okay.
It's
You could see in
unnatural.
dim lights if it were normal, so if there's no light in a coffin, there's no light in a coffin.
As you lean further in, and try to peer at what is inside this coffin, you hear a scuttering sound behind you. And suddenly, a
no.
pair of what feels like hands shove you forward
Yeep.
into the coffin. And with a sudden bang, the crowbars leave it away, and the coffin lid falls down into place. Yeah, you are now trapped in a coffin.
Damn you, Ratsu!
Boxed.
And you start banging on the lid. A few hours pass, and you can't really tell if there is anyone outside. You don't know if there's anyone who is listening until you hear, in the faint distance, you hear arguing. And the sounds of other people come to your ears once again. You continue to bang on the lid of the coffin. And the rest of you, what would you like to do? You have encountered a banging coffin.
Guillaume kind of like takes a look at the backpack, takes a look at Isaac, takes a look at Gilk, and goes, "Open it."
Okay.
That wouldn't be the stupidest thing we've done today.
It wouldn't be.
Who's gonna try and open it?
I will try and open it.
Who has a reputation for good things happening with stone?
Yeah, well, if the stone breaks and falls into Lang's character's head,
I
He's
only
not
have
getting
10
it.
hit points. I
I'm
could fear it to
literally-
survive.
I'm not
This is a
karate
real
chopping the damn thing with my, I'm lifting it up.
well, you know. What is your
okay.
character's name again, Lang?
I'm gonna help him with the encouraging words of a hand on the shoulder. Don't fuck up.
Right.
I've got that spell ready, baby.
Grin.
I've
I
got
just
that
grin.
spell ready.
Roll me strength, Siren.
I don't know where that went. Bye.
But you did
Bye.
roll 16.
Any bonus? Yeah, it's +2.
Plus 2, yeah. So that's an 18.
I can assure you there is no boner in the coffin.
That's pretty reasonable. There might be some underneath you.
It's very cold.
Yeah.
Okay. As you lift, or you lean down and you grasp the under edge of the coffin's lid and you lift it with your knees.
Good.
And as the coffin lid slowly rises, you are greeted by a very short, relatively angry-looking dwarf.
I'ma hold that Eldritch Blast at him. Stay in that fucking coffin. Who are you?
No. I just been locked in this coffin for hours. I got 2 questions and they start with, who are you?
I also have questions. Who are you?
My only question is, do you want me to drop this on you now, or will you cooperate?
Yo,
Wouldn't change my last few hours. All I need to know is, do you plan on closing it on me either way?
No.
Are you the guys that stuck me in here?
No.
We literally just got here.
You're not trying to those
Insight
rats,
check?
are you?
Get
Nope,
out
you-
of the coffin.
Actually, that's a good question. Do you know the rats?
Rats?
Okay, he doesn't know the rats.
I met an owl on the way in here.
Fuck that owl.
That bastard. Is he your friend?
God, no, I stabbed him.
This seems to be
That's why he
going.
was so pissy earlier.
Can I get out of the coffin?
Yes.
You've passed the wildlife test, you can get out.
Once he's safely out, I just let go of the lid.
Apologies,
Yeah, that
chat,
tracks.
I'm not
Oh,
I thought you
replying
wanted that
as
as another
much.
door. It's
I-
technically a door.
Maintaining the session.
It's not.
This is
It's lid.
a lot.
If the coffin were upright, though, it'd be a door.
Now, to be
The
clear,
dead-
I'm down here for perfectly legitimate and perfectly authorized reasons. Why are you free here?
We're not.
We were given permission to find our way down here and come down here, so yes, we are actually.
I was
I was
told
trying
it
to-
was completely sealed off.
Yeah,
That
except
was not
Magic Ass
entirely
over
true.
here opened it.
I had to go through the owl.
So you
That's
are not
because-
in here for perfectly legitimate reasons.
I never said that. I just said I had to go through the owl to get in here.
That's because you don't have a Magic Ass.
Pardon.
Long
Well-
story.
What is your name?
For right now, let's just go with Darren Lauren.
Interesting. I am Guillaume.
Waves gently. Isaac.
Ilk.
So you
A
said
colourful
that
lot you
someone...
are.
Yes, unfortunately. You said that someone put you into the coffin.
I was checking the remains to make sure that they were as described, and somebody decided I needed to be a new occupant.
Well,
Did you
we
hear any
were...
squeaking?
Didn't get a
Yes.
chance to see whom, so could easily still be one of you. Guessing Mr.
Other than the
Brookshaw's.
fact we didn't get here until just now.
So you say. I can hardly verify it.
Well, actually, you could technically make the insight roll. I'm not sure if that actually happened.
I could make the
Uh,
insight roll.
You could make the insight roll. That is up to you guys.
I've been rolling decently well tonight. Watch this before I get the one.
Oh
19.
no, it's a 19.
Oh my fucking god, lying.
Jesus Christ.
+1, that's a dirty 20.
Ooh.
Oh,
alright.
wait, no, my mistake. That's a dirty 22.
Ah. Wow.
With your insight, you are pretty sure that these people are telling the truth. They seem relatively...
Stupid.
I was gonna say honest, but sure.
Yeah.
They don't seem like they're lying, essentially.
That's
'cause
lying.
Only lying is lying.
Yeah.
Okay. For the moment, let's just... I'm just gonna take your word, because otherwise it means I just got shoved into a catacomb coffin by a jester. So, what are you
I
doing
don't
here?
see...
He was with us all the time.
It also wouldn't make much sense to then let you out again.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends what you wanted from me. Either way, for the moment, I'm gonna believe you. I'm gonna choose to believe you because my ego probably couldn't take much more. So, what are you doing here?
Moving on. Have a good day.
Well, rude
I don't-
barbarians aside, long story short is I'm down here looking for a cache of supplies left by my order, and these two just sort of follow me around.
Wouldn't happen to be an order of alchemists, would it?
But it just taps the shield clearly blazoned with Matano. No.
You don't know what Matano is.
Okay, so Matano is the god of order, time, and death. The Order of Matano, I realize that you aren't... Actually,
There's a list of the gods. Hang on.
there is a list of the gods. Lying does have it.
Right, yes, they are.
Oh yeah, because you picked a god, didn't you?
Yes. So you...
Well, like many
know-
Englishmen, the god was chosen for me.
Ah.
You know
yes.
of Matano. You are not aware of the Order of Matano in this instance. The Order of Matano is a very old sort of order that's been around for a very long time, but it's not as well known nowadays as it used to be.
Right.
Guillaume is going to dispel the Eldritch Blast and put his rapier away and just kind of give the coffin and him a once-over. I'm going to assume that is kind of an investigation check if you need me to, but he's basically looking at the coffin to be like, aha, alchemists, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, alchemists. Folks what turn lead to gold and like.
Understandable, so I imagine that you are from perhaps an order of alchemists then? And then he just
I
kind
have
of
a
tilts his
vested
head.
interests, let's put it that way.
Understandable. Well, you are welcome to follow us if you choose. It may be beneficial to you to not get put into any more coffins.
And you
Assuming
might
you
have,
haven't
you
found
might
what
have
you came
some
here for.
help with, well, we're surrounded by rock. I'm a dwarf. put two and two together.
Well, perhaps.
Not to play the race card, but, you know, sometimes it comes in handy.
Just nudges Gilm. He would be closer to the rats.
You would be closer to the rats. By the way, we were forewarned by the rats not to go any further.
We
So-
were?
Take that as you will.
And I'm
When does that
presuming you're going to be ignoring that piece of advice.
Our barbarian has walked away. Do you think we have the ability to?
I have rope.
Was I
me
asleep
not
when
work
this
on
bit
that.
happened?
No, you were
I
talking with the rat.
I rewatched the VOD, but yeah, that rat warned.
Oh,
The
I
rat
wasn't
warned
saying that
both
as
of us.
player. I was saying that in character. Because he was obviously
lying.
possessed at the time.
Yeah, lying doesn't have context for that.
Yeah, fair.
I do not.
Yeah,
Purposefully.
so, I was gonna get there. Ed was possessed by a rat that warned us not to go any further.
Fun night.
Guillaume just kind of like looks at Ed and then just like shakes his head.
What? Just asking a question.
Yes, well, do you remember the argument that you got in with the rat?
Don't go there.
Right. That's why.
I mean, anyone would
Anyway,
tell you that anyone would think that you've been told that the dead would not welcome your presence here.
Well, they do in fact not welcome our presence here, but our barbarian has made the choice for us to go forward.
I was
I
wondering
mean, in fairness,
where
I'm
that phrasing was
plenty living,
coming
and
from.
even I'm not sure when you hear.
It seemed as if you were also not welcome here if they chose to make you dead as well.
Also, how are you still alive?
They declined to stab me on the way into the coffin.
Oh. Thing must not be airtight. Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, it doesn't really need to be.
Good point.
My chat is
suppose not.
currently asking, why is Ed playing Sean Connery?
That's what I said.
Because it's a character voice. You guys got a problem with that?
No, not at
Switching back to
all.
Chav Ed for a moment.
Yeah.
I will dishonor my ancestors if I try to actually do what Darren sounds like, so...
It's fine. It's fine. It's fair. I just do gay fruity little French sounds. Guillaume is going to hold a tentative hand out to Darren. It like a handshake.
Darren is gonna look over the hand and the gesture and respectfully decline the handshake at this time.
Guillaume will just nod at you. For vague context, for lying who actually has not seen our characters, maybe we should give a general, really quick
Yes.
description, actually.
General description of everyone characters, going from Siren to Line in order.
Yeah. Just go ahead, Saren.
So I am a human barbarian with currently carrying a wooden door on my back as a shield.
Your axe is a guitar.
It is an axe.
Yeah.
I thought you upgraded
I'm-
to a stone door.
No.
Did I upgrade
didn't.
the stone door? No.
Oh no, you
Stone door
powderized
broke.
the stone door. That was it.
Stone door broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Luca?
Guillaume is a yellow and white jester. He is wearing like pristine white gloves and appears to not have a real like speck of dirt on him as of right now. He's wearing a white porcelain mask, so you can't see his facial expressions at all, but when he moves, there's the jingling of bells, even though he has none of them on his outfit.
Perfect for stealth right there.
It's a very faint sound.
Very faint sound.
I'm
Nice.
noticing Ed's character, like, in-game, has chaps.
No, that's because the commoner was the only one that was close. All the spellcaster ones look like fucking Gandalf.
I mean, yes.
So basically, did anybody watch Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing movie from the 2000s?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
repeatedly, often.
That
Yeah.
sort of outfit, but in white and without the hat. So that very much sort of trenchy kind of Monster Hunter look. And
I can
then,
post the mini that you did in the chat if you want.
Yeah, the mini's close enough actually. That'll do, Luca. But yeah, then a sort of salt and pepper hairdo. Got the little bit of beard going on, and just generally a lot of city miles on him. a shield on one arm and the casting pistol in his other hand.
Darren is a 4-foot-ish dwarf, red hair, brown eyes, fairly like thin beard, looks kind of like it was drawn on in places, and he is otherwise decked out in equipment that certainly suggests exploration, but probably inherited from someone who was doing a lot of exploring long before him, and has just kind of been patched up in a lot of places to work well enough. He's got a short sword in its scabbard that appears to have been, like, tied into its scabbard, so you can't actually open it, just shoved into his pack. And he's otherwise got a pair of daggers, one of which is way better well cared for than the other.
I see.
But he is squat, he is bulked out by armor and equipment and such, and he's like the dwarven equivalent of Tomb Raider, effectively.
Got it.
Nice. Shorter craft.
Yeah, shorter craft.
Now that we have all of the characters described, what are your next steps, party?
Shall we go after the barbarian?
Well, seeing as I don't think we're getting out of here alone, might as well go and make sure we have all our heads.
Understandable. I will keep an eye out.
And it's alchemists that we're looking for, isn't it?
Just
Bits
for
and
me.
bobs? Okay, we'll keep an
If you
eye out.
spot any transmuters, let me know. But
if
mostly
you-
alchemists.
And if you spot any kind of, I don't know what it's going to look like. It was put down here bloody years ago. So, like a chest or like a container with this and taps the shield symbol on it. If it's got that on it, just sing out.
I'm going to make the mistake of rolling another investigation check, which have gone very terribly for me so far.
Why, Aluka, why?
Any footprints on the ground? Anything that looks like actually humanoid down here that is like a clue of why he was pushed into the coffin?
Okay, you have dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so on the floor. Actually, roll me the check, and I'll give you an answer.
I live in fear of this. I lived in fear correctly. That's a 7.
Okay, I can give you something with a 7. Not much, but I can give you something. The dust.
Somebody else got to start looking around.
The dust around where you are is obviously heavily disturbed at this point. There's been 4 of you that have walked through this area. However, you notice something interesting in that there seem to be, you're not really sure, but it looks like there are footprints leading back the way you came. And
Okay.
one thing you know is that you lot haven't gone backwards. So, I can
Fair
give you
enough.
that.
Fair enough. He's gonna go as much around that sewer grate as humanly possible. He does not want to step on any of it.
Fair enough. The sewer grate you can hear running water under, but there's nothing down there.
He makes a face.
Okay.
Just gonna hang near the back as much as I can.
Guillaume has got an eye on you. Guillaume has got an eye on you. You can't see it, but he does have one.
Meanwhile,
Isaac,
the brothers Dim are heading up the front.
And Darren is
And
keeping an
step.
eye on the creepy AF
And
jester's
step.
back.
And step.
Isaac. Do your order perhaps have any other indicators of where things are other than the symbol itself?
Probably not looking like it was here when the place was built, and being old.
I see. So none of the symbols on any of the coffins.
I'm doubtful they'd hide it in a coffin. I mean, we are the
None
Order
of
of
the
Death,
coffins
but at the
have
same
symbols.
time...
Well, actually, no.
Eh.
There are a few coffins that you've seen with the symbol of the Order of Matana. But they also have the name of the hunter that was buried in them.
Yeah, he's essentially trying to be like, are all of these things clustered somewhere? Why does your order not have any order? It's an order of order. He's bitching.
Hang on. If they were hunters that were buried here, wouldn't they have some useful gear? Why aren't we opening these up?
Because probably whatever killed them because it broke the gear.
We also do not wish to disturb the dead. This one was still
You-
alive.
You don't.
We have gotten very specific warnings that they do not want us here already.
Also, just pointing out, if anybody is going to have the willpower to come back from the dead and not be very happy about it, it's probably someone who serves the Order of Literal Death. Maybe don't mess with it.
We are highly advising you. The church will be able to come down here after we are done and see what has happened down here. There is
And
now
I
an
do
entry
not
for
need
them.
that paperwork.
And burn it.
If you wish to be arrested
You've
by
never
the guard,
worked in an office, have you?
Eh,
Do I look like I've worked in an office?
I
don't know, I'm not gonna judge a book by its cover.
What is an office?
what is an office?
All right, so an office is like, it's usually a place
You bored
where
me already.
And he's off. Yep, exactly. I mean, Guillaume, do you care about the paperwork that goes into running a church?
Unspecifically, I do not know if I care, but I am aware explicitly of how the inner workings of monarchy and paperwork are. I, on the other hand, will not get a chance to fill anything out if the guard catches us down here.
Exactly.
Sliver was like, you worked in an office, you ran through it chasing somebody once.
Yeah.
On the particular note of guards finding us down here, don't be too surprised if I should make myself scarce.
I will not be. Just simply do not stick a knife in my rib cage as you exit.
Speaking of making themselves scarce
Rib
and
cage
also
off the discussion.
traumatizing guards, whatever happened to the sorceress? Where'd she go?
She saw
She
threats
fucked up
and
with
ran
the
for
rats.
it.
Oh, she's probably gone to find that guard from earlier. Okay.
Likely.
I'm
Well, at
guessing
least that'll
that's
keep him
referencing another
distracted.
party member who's not here.
Yeah, the party member is gone. Saren's wife and Fluffle are no longer able to play.
Okay. As you reach once again the crossroads of
Oh, I recognize that grading.
this area, you've basically gone in a big U. Would any of you like to roll me perception?
So
Wouldn't that
I'll
be
try.
passive perception?
I'll assist.
Right, are we doing?
no
are we
assist.
doing
We're all rolling
Guillaume assisted
perception.
or me assisted?
Who's rolling?
We're all. I see. If you're asking us, it's either passive perception or we all have to roll perception, basically.
Well, you're all rolling perception then.
Okay.
We're all rolling? Okay.
Yep.
Well, that didn't work well.
I should have known it'd be bad by just the thud it made when it hit the desk. That's a 3.
Hey!
Siren rolled a 3.
Holy hell.
Guillaume rolled a 5.
7.
I've technically got a 6 if we're adding bonus, but there's no point. It's a
Yeah,
6.
7.
So the only person who's rolled well is Lying.
Yes.
Yep. Who rolled
Um,
mediocrely.
You have a +1.
That's
so
still
that's
well.
12.
Yeah, 12 total.
Okay.
Okay. Lying.
Pitching out the metal dice.
As you walk into the crossroads area again, you notice what looks like scratches on the metalwork next to the gate. They don't look like claw marks or anything like that. They look like deliberate scratches in the metal.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Go for it.
The footprints that walked out of the area that we were just in, that U shape, do I see them coming out of the actual catacombs area and heading in another direction?
From where you are, you can see the footprints that your party have. You might be able to make out the faintest impression of footprints where you are right now.
Okay.
So,
Guillaume points at the footprints kind of coming down the hallway out of where Lying was pushed into the coffin, and then points down at their feet and goes, "We did not backtrack. Those are not ours.
Not mine.
I think that answers your question
That
from
gate's
earlier
pretty
then,
ill
doesn't
scratched,
it?
though. That any of your doing?
None of ours. We did not
Oh.
backtrack.
Do those look like my size?
Do those look like my fashion?
Does the gate look like somebody could fit through it?
It doesn't
Does
look
the
like
gate look like
somebody
it
could
works?
fit through it, but the rubble has been cleared enough that it could open.
I'm gonna try to see if the gate opens.
The gate is locked tight.
See, before we
Well then.
before we go through the gate, could we take a very quick 5-minute break so I could go get some
Yep.
water?
5-minute
and
break.
Out of the bathroom.
Everybody get some water, get something to drink, take a
Okay.
pee, etc., etc.
Thank you. It's
Final
been an
breaks,
hour and a half.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Stream chat, take a break as well. And this also gives me an opportunity to talk to stream chat. Oh boy. Right. How is everyone today? I apologize for sort of not chatting to chat during this. There is a lot going on. Oh boy, there is a lot going on. I will try and catch up on chat and try and keep an eye on chat when I can. But unfortunately, I cannot promise that will be the case. But yeah, I hope you're all enjoying the session so far. I do enjoy these sessions. They are very fun. Yeah, I would like to do them more than once a month, but realistically, once a month is the best for everyone's schedule. So yeah. Fair enough, Lydia. Fair enough. But yeah, it is hopefully something that we'll be able to continue doing with our current party. Fingers crossed on that end of things. So yeah. I'm gonna go take a quick drink. I will be right back. Thank you very much, Lydia. At the end of the session, I will show people around a little bit, show people what I've been doing to liven up this world and why it probably takes so long for people to load in.
I promise you. Lucian, can you hear us?
Giving Robert, I think it's Robert Morrow's kid, who they called Two.
Oh my god, he did name it, why?
Yeah.
Because he's Elon
Why?
freaking Musk and he has no
No.
brain cells.
All right.
Oh
Apologies
my
to
god, what
everyone.
the fuck?
I have hit audio.
That wasn't even the only
technical
child he named like that.
difficulties,
No, it wasn't. He's
in
got like
that
6,
my
doesn't he?
headset died, so I had to
What
put
is
it on to
wrong
charge.
with people that have stupid amounts of money and naming
just-
their kids god-awful things?
It poisons your brain. Having money poisons your brain.
This is why we should tax the rich people more.
Yeah. That SpaceX launch that happened last week was so fucking loud it wasn't even funny.
It was a SpaceX launch last week?
Yeah, I live near the fucking place where they launch all those rockets.
So sorry.
You could see them. It's kind of wild.
Can
That's
you
the
guys
problem,
hear me?
really, is that we can see all of them, including every single damn satellite that they put up into space, so that astronomers can't see past them.
Yeah.
Didn't,
Lucian,
like,
we
the
still...
whole, didn't a whole bunch of his satellites, like, stop
Explode.
working after they were just deployed?
Yes.
Some of them.
Oh, now
I'm
Discord chooses to notify me we've been typing in chat this whole time.
honestly, the thing
Yeah.
that worries me most is that they are like textbook. This is how you start Kessler syndrome.
Yeah.
It's just a train of satellites. Just like
We still can't
one
hear
of them
Lucian,
gets
right?
hacked. Every single one after that gets hacked more, and then we just
mean,
yep.
I can
I
hear
can hear you now.
Lucian, and he's just very quiet. I think I need to turn him up again.
Okay.
Can you hear us, Lucian?
Yeah,
I
I
can
can
hear him now.
hear you perfectly fine, but for
Oh, that
some
was better.
reason my microphone went weird. Right.
Yeah, I just turned him up in Discord. That should work.
Okay. Apologies to everybody, but for some reason my audio went very weird just then, and my headset died, so
Welcome
I've
to
had to
streaming.
put that on to charge. Yeah, I've been doing it for a while.
Welcome to streaming on budget rigs.
Budget? You call this a budget rig these days?
Welcome to streaming just in general. I am far from a budget rig and still shit happens that I can't explain.
I
Yeah.
have a
Random
computer
cosmic
computer setup that is
radiation.
costing me like 2K to own, so yeah, right.
That's computers, baby!
Yeah. Late stage capitalism and cryptocurrency.
I love all my friends.
Yep.
They're in my pewter.
Pretty much. Okay. Right. Are we all back? Are we all ready?
When we left off, we'd found a
we're
weird
back.
scratched
Ready
up
has
door
always
that we
been a
were trying to
question.
open.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys have found a strange gate that seems to have been battered by all manner of things. But the gate itself seems intact. It seems like it could open, but it is locked tight.
Here we go.
Just does the sort of like the presenting showman gesture to the barbarian.
Yep, here we go.
And I would like to help with this if possible.
I'm gonna grab
Okay.
2 rungs of the gate that are within the door of it, steady my footing, and just pull.
Okay.
spot it.
Roll me strength.
With advantage because of
With advantage.
Isaac, yeah.
You always need a spotter.
Yeah. Guillaume's gonna very gently put a hand in front of Darren and make like the "you might want to move back" motion.
Is it gonna go up by 1? Is it gonna go up by 1?
Nope. So
Oh!
it's a 15 plus my strength plus 2, so that's 17.
17. Okay.
Where'd the other die go? I don't see it.
There's a lot of stray die that have just disappeared in these
Oh, yeah.
catacombs.
With
Might just
One's
look-
in the ceiling.
With feet planted wide, you grip the bars of this fairly sturdy looking iron gate. And you heave and you pull, and suddenly there's a creaking sound. And the gate rips off its hinges.
There we go,
Unexpectedly.
baby.
You you feel the gate rip and the hinges give, and the lock smash, and then suddenly any leverage that you had against it triples as it falls back towards you. And you get a little flattened.
No, I want to use my acrobatics to try to prevent myself from falling.
Okay, roll it.
Oh my god.
As the gate falls towards you,
Oh, it
you
is rolls
let
earlier.
go and dive roll to the side. And the gate
Siren
hits
only
the
rolls
ground
us.
with a massive clang and dust goes everywhere.
Guillaume just sighs.
The gate is open.
And another one bites the dust.
If anyone asks, it was like that when we were down here.
Oh, if anyone asks, it was the rats.
I'ma keep looking around with my bad perception rolls. I want to see what I can see. What's in here?
Roll me perception.
Gonna walk into the room first, so I can look at the funny little sticks and torches. And the
Gotta check out
blue
the statue over here.
there's a blue flame.
Ooh.
Oh, that's finally good. That's an 18.
Okay.
Hold on, Guillaume.
Mine is the opposite of that.
So
Oh boy.
you've walked down the sort of the southern corridor, and
Eastern.
no, I'm talking about Aluka.
Luca.
Yes, he went down the eastern. I went down the west.
According to my visuals, Aluka has gone down the south corridor.
Is there
There's
a...
a
compass
compass.
disagrees.
There is a compass. I am aware there is a compass.
And it says east.
In this instance, east is south, and south is
That would do
east.
with more explaining before you start saying that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I
I'm-
apologize, but I built this map before I knew about the compass because I never noticed it before.
I'm still very confused. But
Okay,
You went a direction, Aluka. You went
Yeah.
the Aluka direction.
Aluka has
That's all
gone-
you
I'm
need
in
to
the
know.
Aluka direction.
Aluka has gone
South
south.
is east, west is north.
I'm in the
Yes.
Aluka direction.
Yeah. So
It's not
essentially,
one direction in this party, it's wrong direction.
imagine the compass has basically rotated by 90 degrees.
Yeah, one sets to the left.
Yeah,
Ah.
essentially. So south is east. In this instance, later on I'll try and correct that. Okay, so you have headed down the south corridor, and in the middle of it, on a plinth that seems to be finely crafted, a metal plinth, is a small flickering blue flame.
I see anything else at all? There's some statues. I see those statues.
There are statues lining the walls under the arches.
They got plaques.
They've all got plaques, yes.
Nothing too important, I'm going to assume.
None of them are too particularly important. Most of them are covered in dust. You can't really read what's on them unless
Okay.
you were to kneel down and actually rub away at the plaque and get rid of the dust.
Any of the dust in the room on the floor seem disturbed?
None of the dust in this section of the room seems disturbed.
Okay.
It's very sane dust.
It's very sane dust. I don't know what I'm doing here then.
Isaac's gonna just squint at the statue, I guess, and see if he can see anything from this distance. I stress, from this
There are
distance.
4 statues. So
The statue he is facing, which
Oh,
I
okay.
suppose I should specify is west that's not west.
So the
the
statue.
I'm already
Okay,
I've
so
walked
north.
over trying to
the-
inspect it.
It's where Siren is.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So the statue at the end of the corridor has a plaque on the base which reads Scripture 2.
I look over at Isaac. Scripture 2, what does that mean?
It means it's not a chest yet. I'm gonna check the other way. Hang on. And
There is a blue flame.
marvelous. I'm gonna progress a bit towards the blue flame and see if I percept anything beyond the blue flame.
Beyond the blue flame, there are a pair of stone coffins, a large, very sturdy-looking metal gate, and past that, a pair of torches that are also lit in flickering blue flame, as well as a final, very gilded-looking coffin.
I want to inspect the other two statues just before the blue flame.
Okay, roll me...
Oh, I'm just reading the plaques on them.
Oh, you're just reading... Well, you'll have to...
Oh, reading comprehension.
Okay, that's fine.
They are a barbarian.
So the
Classist.
two plaques that are before the blue flame read. There are a set of dates on them. It looks like birth and death dates. There is the rank of Master Paladin and the names of the paladins that these statues seem to be carved after. And
Okay.
Any holy
you
symbols?
notice one very specific thing. These paladins are not paladins of Tenna. They are paladins of Metano. Not the Order of Metano. Very specifically, these are paladins of Metano himself.
Ah. Yeah, well, that would make sense to have them protecting, the thing, now wouldn't it? Can I...
I'm tentative to mess with the coffins of, especially a gilded coffin of paladins. That sounds like a lot of paperwork, and probably someone else should do it.
Do you
Okay.
think perhaps that is the symbol of your order behind that door?
Yes, but it also might be a bad political
As you
move.
walk past the blue flame in the altar, or I say altar, in the brazier, it sparks and sort of brightens. And you feel suddenly cold, as if the flame itself is sucking all the heat out of the room.
Is anybody else suddenly very chilly?
I mean, we are underground.
I'm
Uh,
not, but I'm very heavily padded.
I am at the door.
Extremely chilly.
Aluka and Lion, you cannot feel anything. Room is perfectly fine for you guys. But
All I
Saren,
feel is a
Any
complete
different?
void of sensation.
Saren and Ed, you are starting to feel very cold. The closer you get to the gate at the end of the hall, the colder you are feeling.
Guillaume is going to kind of glance down the hallway at that blue flame and narrow his eyes a little bit and go, move quickly,
It's cold. I'm going to
backwards.
step away from the cold.
As you get further and further away from the gates and further away from the flame, it gets warmer and warmer.
Time to roll arcane, baby. Time to roll arcane. There we go. I'm actually in the area now. He was keeping look at the door, because what if that person who was down here heard, hey, wow!
Okay, so
Hang on, that's actually an 18.
yep. Okay.
Yay.
So the flame in the brazier in front of you definitely has magical properties. You recognize it as a. It's essentially a warding spell of sorts. It seems to be designed with the intention of anyone who approaches the gate will eventually just start freezing to death. It is
So it's
designed.
Cold magic.
It seems to be some form of cold magic, yes. It seems to be designed to ward off everyone, no matter who they are.
It is an arcane flame of cold. There seem to be 2 more of them at the end of the hallway, next to the big box.
Look over at Isaac.
Observation.
Is this your people's doing?
It's paladins of my faith, so probably. Excuse me, I'm just gonna huddle and warm up a bit. Sort of huddles himself in a corner for a second. Just gently rocking, going, paperwork.
Is that
Guillaume
what
kind of-
works?
Look
There's
over
no
at
sign of
Guillaume. Can you
paperwork.
take care of it?
Right, like 3 people spoke at once there, what?
Yeah, sorry.
Sharon,
I
you
guess
go
I'll go.
first.
I'll look over at Guillaume. Can you take care of it?
Perhaps, but I am not equipped to remove wards of the Order of Matano.
What if you just simply blow up the altar?
That may not even work. It
Wards
is...
often don't like being blown up.
Yes, Scripture 2 is what the other statue said, no?
What did the ones beside us say? Anything?
So the ones
They're just-
beside you are just statues of paladins of the Order of Matano. They have
Okay.
names, rank, and date of birth and death on them. That is it.
So look over at Isaac. What is Scripture 2 of your beliefs?
Mostly goes on about Matano finding people in the snow, which would make a lot of sense right now, frankly.
Do you know the exact wording?
Oh, hang on a minute. Digs around in the satchel, pulls out the still slightly soggy book of scriptures. It got kind of wet on the trip to Metacross.
While you're looking through that, I'm going to do some stone cutting on the brazier over there.
And I'm going to motion Guillaume over. You seem more the book kind of type. And
Never
Dude.
mind.
give me a second.
Suddenly
Luca.
buying's rolls are bad. Guillaume's gonna look back at Darren and kind of just... You will keep watch on the door?
I mean, there's a very interesting and fascinating magic thing in here, but I suppose I could.
Just for a
Do you have
moment.
an idea of how to get by it?
Well, in my experience, magic things tend to stop working when they're not in one piece.
Correct, but
Uh,
this one could also remain in one piece once broken.
I mean, the
last
last time we
magic
did
thing
that,
we
we
broke
That
the piece
defies
is kind of-
definition, and is very strange.
Last magic thing we broke into pieces kind of exploded.
released the
Oh, I
banshee on us,
see.
actually.
I don't really think that Mildred's just a tool for that kind of stuff. We need to have conversations about this, and it's not been long enough. We need to get to know each other before that.
Okay, I'm gonna read this for a hot second.
Yeah, I'm also scanning it, Luca. So I guess for context, the 2 are poring over the book.
North, center, back. Knocked 3 times. North, center, back, knocked 3 times. The scripture has directions in it. For stream, for everyone who is doing this, under the guise of an elderly man, Matano would often leave the hourglass to be tended by a few select souls under his care, and descend to the mortal plane to experience the fleeting joys of mortality. One day, while traveling through the northern forests, they heard the shrill scream of a child emanate through the trees. With the curiosity of a god, unfamiliar from the pains of mortal life, Matano ambled towards where the sound had come from. This is a page-and-a-half document. I can read the full thing, but I do have the directions here in Scripture too.
Thankfully, we also now know that the compass is not the compass, which also helps.
Yes, so
Correct.
from the compass's perspective,
West is north.
We
Yes,
are
west is
facing
north.
south right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so I'm gonna just make sure that I read all of the directions correctly because they are in italics, and I just want to make sure that I've actually gotten all of them. The very first one is northern forests, so we need to go north. I'm wondering if it's the directions that we need to go around this plinth, or if this plinth is so that we go north and then the next direction in these hallways right here. That's the only thing that I'm actually not sure of.
Hey,
Well,
Guillaume,
Yes?
there's 4 torches here.
Ah. Are you going to make the DM light them?
What are the directions again?
The directions are going to be north, center.
Like the north torch?
There's a center one though, and one of the directions is back, not like actually like the directions of that you would have for like north, south, east, west to pull switches. It's more of it appears to be like a way to walk around the plinth, maybe.
Except that if one is to progress south, north doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Unless it's the north tile of the...
I'm gonna write this. Can somebody write this down in the chat just so I don't have to keep scrolling through the document real quick?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Northern forests,
Northern,
center clearing,
center, bearing,
back,
back, and knock 3 times.
west,
Oh, west.
knock 3 times. Lucian, just in terms of actually having the context of the Order of Matano scripture, do you want us to read this?
you can read it if you want, or I can read it for you, or you don't need to read it at all. But
I just wanted to know if you wanted it live for stream.
well, if you guys want me to, I can read the full scripture. It won't take too long.
Is there a way for you to read it directly
would
to your
li-
stream while we figure out the puzzle? Question mark?
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
like to hear the
I
scripture
can-
because there might be clues I pick up in there as well.
I can
Sure,
definitely do that.
Can you send the Order of Matano document to the D&D chat, Ed?
In context, just sort of waves the book around. Be my guest, anybody? It's a bit soggy, so anything after Scripture 2 is kind of still drying.
I am vaguely concerned that's why it is soggy.
I don't swim very well, and I sort of fell off the ladder, and it wasn't pretty. It was before you guys boarded. I wasn't going to talk about it, but if you're forcing me, then okay.
Guillaume just pats Isaac's shoulder. He feels a little bit warmer about it.
I grew
Tieflings
up
with
in
their internal
forests.
body heat.
It's not really. There's not much water.
I understand. I am going to take a look back at the door real quick. Just
They
nervously.
Little stuff
I'm
was
keeping
more
an
the
eye.
Seals gig anyway.
He hands the book over to Dwarf as well and is like, "Here, look at it. Look at it."
Okay, I'm gonna quickly read through the
Yeah.
the scripture for chat.
Yeah. You wrote
I'm
2
gonna go
pages. You
pee
might as well
again.
read that shit.
Okay. So, this is Scripture 2 of the Scriptures of the Order of Matano. It is the book that Ed's God, essentially, was written for. And it is the guiding principles of the Order of Matano. So, Scripture 1 is fairly basic. It's 1 page. I'm not going to read that now. I might publish the scriptures at some point for people to read. I will probably put them up on the Patreon at some point.
We've inspected the statue on the other end, right?
Yeah, that one says scripture 2.
Under the guise of the elderly man, Matano would often leave the hourglass
It's just
to
how
be
we knew how to get the
tended
book
by a
out,
select
essentially.
few souls
And the only
under
thing that I'm
his care.
concerned about is
Lucian,
I
if
don't.
I've just spotted what I think I've spotted, I'm going to stab you.
Lucian
What
is
do you
still
think
reading
you've
the story.
spotted?
Well, there's the statue with the thing that gives us directions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are on a compass.
Yes.
And in front of that statue is a 3x3 grid.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a DDR, Matt?
I mean,
Is
no,
the DD
but
Armat by the statue?
you have noticed things. So
Yeah. The DD Armat then is by the statue, which is where we couldn't figure out where to put the inputs in to make this flame not happen. I will walk back over there with you. Because we don't have any other places where we think it might work.
Well,
Guillaume just kind of follows Darren over. Isaac, Ed is gone right now in the bathroom, so give it just a second.
yeah. I'm going to carry on reading this scripture while we wait for it to come back.
Yeah. Do you want us to stay quiet, or are you muting the Discord call?
I mean, if you guys want to listen to me read this, I'm fine with that.
Go in.
Okay. Under the guise of the elderly man, Metano would often leave the hourglass to be tended by a select few souls under his care, and descend to the mortal plane to experience the fleeting joys of mortality. One day, while travelling through the northern forests, they heard the shrill scream of a child emanate from the trees. With the curiosity of a god, unfamiliar with the pains of mortal life, Metano ambled towards where the sound had come from. They arrived at a snow-covered clearing next to a stream, where a scene of horror and devastation met their eyes. A wrecked encampment covered in ash and burning coals from campfires. Blood spattered across the snow, spraying from bodies covered in deep claw marks. A pair of basilisks feasted on the corpses in the center of the clearing, while a third seemed to be digging through the wreckage of one of the various carriages. As its claws tore at the wood, shrill screams could be heard from under the carriage. Out of pure curiosity, and perhaps some form of morbid fascination, Metano stepped into the clearing. The beasts raised their heads and turned to stare at the newcomer. The basilisk on the carriage jumped down and approached the god with its eyes narrowed and its fangs bared. Venom dripped from its jaws, and the blood on its claws stained the snow as it walked. At first, Metano saw only the hunger of the beasts, but as they looked around the clearing, anger clouded their mind. A scene of death and destruction stood before them once more, and while the atrocities committed were hardly their fault, Metano could feel the pain of the souls that had once inhabited the bodies lying in the snow. Gripping their long wooden staff in one hand, Metano swiftly brought it down on the first basilisk's head, cracking its skull and killing it in a single blow. As the first beast slumped to the ground, the other two charged the god, venom seeping from their jaws. With inhumane precision, Metano delivered a heavy hit to the second one's eye socket, followed by plunging the end of their staff through the last basilisk's gullet. Howling in pain, blood dripping from its eye, the second basilisk attempted to swipe at the god. With a final, sickening crack, Metano brought their staff down on the beast's neck, breaking through its spine and leaving it dead, slumped in the snow. With the deed done, Metano cleared the fog of anger from their mind and turned to leave the clearing, intending, for all intents, to never look back. But the sobbing of the child stuck under the carriage sunk its delicate claws into the god's crystalline heart and refused to let go. With a heavy sigh, Metano turned and lifted the broken wreckage to find a young girl curled up in the snow, shivering in the cold. Picking her up, Metano cradled her in one arm, so small and frail she was, and carried her out of the forsaken clearing. For a few days, Metano walked, carrying the child west out of the cold forest. They would occasionally stop, and Metano would forage for food for the child. Eventually, they came upon a worn path, and by following that path, an inn. Metano knew they could not stay with the child. Just a few days of contact with the god had already altered her in ways she could never comprehend. So, under the cover of darkness, Metano knocked 3 times on the door of the inn, and left the child bundled in his cloak, with a note and a name. The 2 elderly ladies who ran the inn opened the door that night to find a child with shining blue eyes, frail but imperceptibly quick. They took her in, clothed her, fed her, and cared for her as if she were their own, and named her Eteri, as the note had asked of them. Eteri grew up with her mothers in the little inn on the northern road, and became a strong young woman with a fiery stubbornness. When her mothers aged and were unable to go out into the forest to chop wood for the cold winter nights, Eteri hoisted an axe on her shoulder and went to chop down the tallest tree. When the goats became sick and needed care, Eteri would care for them and nurse them back to health. And when, once every year, a pale old stranger in a deep blue cloak the color of the night sky, and pale blue eyes that twinkled like precious stones, would stop by, Eteri would sit and listen in wonder as they regaled her with stories of their travels well into the night. And then, in the morning, they were gone, leaving Eteri to wonder if they were ever there at all. In this, Matano teaches us to protect those who cannot protect themselves, and avenge those who fall to the evils of the world. Every life is precious, and should have the chance to thrive and live long. That is Scripture 2
Yay.
of the Scriptures of Matano.
Story time, baby.
Now, I should point out, you did manage to find everything in the scriptures that was relevant for this particular puzzle.
Cool.
Okay.
So we have a DDR pad now. It is in front of the statue that gave us the instructions. For time's sake, since we only have 13 minutes left, can we say that we tried the directions in the DDR pad?
Yeah. So we can say that. So you try the directions, and you knock 3 times on the last panel. There is a clunk sound, and the paneling that you were standing on slides back and reveals a staircase.
Oh, there he goes. Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh,
Guillaume
right.
waves.
Sorry, hold on.
I have ceased to exist.
You have
Yeah.
ceased to exist. Yes, give me a second.
We thought he was here. He was lying.
There we go. You were in the hide volume, so you got hidden as well.
Guillaume waves Isaac and Gilk over.
Huh? Oh, right. Right.
Our new dwarven
look
friend
at that.
seems to have found a passion for dancing.
Huh.
It's not technically a DDR pad, it's just a couple of panels in the floor that you needed to press, but...
However, it
which
is
is
very
dope.
funny to think of it that way. I'm on the table, baby.
We appear to have
Can I have
company.
I'm sorry to be a pain. Can I have my book back at all, please?
Hands it back.
You get in trouble for losing these things, even though I barely bloody read it.
As you walk down into the into a large, well-lit room, you hear a man seemingly talking to himself, and he seems to be well. As you walk down the stairs, you notice that he seems to be talking to a painting, and he says something like this. Well, I mean, I know that she said that she wanted this glamorous, incredible wedding, but her husband is an utter imbecile. I mean, he tried to pair the roses with tulips, for goodness sake, and the dress just doesn't go with it at all. I mean, honestly, I am the foremost wedding planner in the entire land. I mean, this is the reason they hired me.
You bastard.
It's impossible. I mean, honestly, I know that I'm also master of the dark arts, but I can hardly fix what isn't there. I wish I knew what I could do to make sure that they could. I don't know. At any rate, the groom is an idiot, and the bride is, well, she's even worse somehow. I just tell me what I can do to fix this. And he seems to be rambling at the painting a fair amount. He hasn't noticed you yet.
All right, everyone in sync. We are hum on the count of 3, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Hum.
The man startles and turns around, and lying, you recognize this man
Oh, yes, I do.
as the priest who told you that the only way to get into the catacombs was through the owl,
Through the owl.
essentially.
Agent Father?
And the priest.
He's your dad?
I really need to give you an education on religion.
The priest startles back and goes, "How did you get in here? This you should not be in here."
Door was open.
Says
gave
you
me
read
rashes.
my scriptures to get in here. If
I-
anybody should be in here, I should be in here.
I
Who are you?
I'm Father Matthew Morrigan. I'm the head of the. That's not important right now. What
the
do you
chatty
want?
priest. Right.
Isn't this is the one we were looking for?
Yeah,
Right.
yep. The record
Oh,
keeper
you know
mentioned him.
We've been looking for him at least.
He was
Yeah.
the alternative option of someone to talk to or coming down here. It seems that both led to both.
Is he?
So,
Well, he wasn't much good
Can
when
we
I
kill him or what?
Oh,
got in
don't
here, didn't
kill him
you?
yet, Gilk. That comes later. Smashy later. Talky first.
You're really loving the Sean Connery voice here, aren't you?
Walk over to corner and just sharpen my axe on a bit of the stone.
tulips with roses. That is bad taste.
I know, right? I don't understand
I'm
what
just
was
gonna keep a
going
hand
through
on
his
the
head.
hilt of one of my daggers.
Shiny.
So yeah, the priest is seems fairly uncomfortable from the fact that you are here. Also, you notice that the portrait behind him is moving.
I see.
They
Guillaume,
noticed. I saw weapons.
Guillaume
Yes,
gives
that-
a gentle bow and is trying to kind of make peace here as fast as he can.
So the priest seems to appreciate that, but the rest of your colleagues are very weapon ready at the moment. Except for
Yeah.
Gilk, who seems to have been distracted by the table of various monster-killing weapons that are on
Oh,
display.
God.
Yeah.
Can I do a perception on the bookcases?
Yeah, you can try.
Looking for general subject matter.
General subject matter, you don't need perception to do that. All of the books in here are relatively well kept. They are generally in pristine condition. You can see them from here. Most of the spines of these books seem to be journals of the Order of Metano or guides on various monsters.
Yeah.
Father, we were told that no one could get down here, and obviously the question is how we did and how you did as well.
You certainly didn't come through the thrones.
There are many various entrances to this specific section of the church. I just happen to know a few of them.
So why is everyone being told it's blocked off?
Well, the catacombs themselves are blocked off. This room specifically has multiple entrances. I was not aware that people would be looking for this place.
You know, I say as I pick up a fairly intimidating weapon of the bunch. In my time in the arena, I have met men like you who hide behind words. I could loosen your tongue if you want as I point the weapon in his direction. I wish to intimidate him.
Isaac face palms.
The priest looks at you, takes one very quick look at you, and then sprints through the portrait and disappears.
Well, we found the way out. Let's go.
We did at least clear the room. I'm going to give it a scout and see if I can see the sort of chesticle that I'm looking for with the sort of emblem of Matano or any sort of container with it on.
I'm going to examine the painting.
Unless we're standing in it, which is what I'm starting to think we are.
Everything in this room is either emblazoned with the crest of Matano or a similar emblazoning with the winged hourglass.
Okay.
Are there any particularly interesting weapons on the table for me to claim?
Roll me perception.
I guess I'll roll Arcana on the painting since everybody's rolling.
Okay, so on the table...
Hang on, that's perception. Oh, it's a straight up 18.
Mm-hmm. On the table, there are some very interesting looking weapons. There is a variety of things, but one specific weapon catches your eye, and it's not anything that most people would class as particularly special, but it does have a certain allure to it. And it is this three-headed flail that looks incredibly dangerous. And the interesting thing about it is the heads of this flail aren't the usual like wooden ones with spikes nailed into them. The heads of these flails are sectioned blades that look like they would hurt a lot.
I pick up the flail, and you shall be named Cerberus.
Fair enough. Add the Cerberus flail to your inventory.
If we're looking around, I'm gonna look around for anything that looks like either a better shield that might sort of still keeping the emblem, obviously, because got to rep the cause, or possibly any form of sort of add-on / bolt-on that might affect a casting pistol, because I don't know what era of the hunt this is from, obviously.
So, this particular storage cache, what you know is that it hasn't been visited by the Order for a very long time.
Doesn't mean it can't look.
So, hang on, I got a couple questions about the flail, just for is it regular stats of a flail? Is it slashing damage?
It is slashing damage in this instance.
Standard damage roll, 1d8?
1d10.
1d10. Is it any magical modifiers to it?
No.
Okay, and if you're able to type up that description for me quite quickly so I could write it in, that'd be great.
I will do so. Actually, I could... Okay, Siren, here's a description for it. You know the mace in Atlas?
I see.
Maybe, no, not really.
Okay.
Well, we can figure that out later.
Yeah,
Just
I'll show you a picture of it later. Don't worry.
You have hit 4 p.m.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll be finishing up fairly soon. Okay.
I amend my search to cool trinketry, just in general, to get things moving.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Why do I just suck at perception? That is 10 plus 3, so 13.
Okay.
Not great.
You look around and you notice on a shelf there is a small ring. It doesn't look like a ring you would wear on your finger. It looks like a ring that you would attach to perhaps the base of a sword or some form of other weaponry, essentially.
Thank God you clarified that. Okay, yeah, I'll probably just palm it.
Okay, add unknown ring to your inventory. You don't know what it does yet.
Can investigate it later. Unknown ring. Cool. I end my turn.
Okay. Aluka, lying, what are you doing?
I'm going to examine the painting.
I'm also trying to examine the painting.
Okay. So
Going to assume it's arcane?
yes. So as you walk up to the painting, you notice that it is a picture of a fairly haughty-looking woman. She doesn't look pleased. And you notice that the canvas is swirling slightly. It's like it's being refracted by some form of light. Yeah.
Guillaume bows to the fucking painting.
The painting of the woman in the painting, rather, looks at you and crosses her arms. And a voice echoes in your mind specifically. And it goes, well, at least you have some manners.
I apologize for my comrades, my lady.
And she goes, well, thank you, Guillaume. It is lovely to see you again. And that is where we are ending this stream.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Right.
Painting of a life!
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening. We didn't get as much in as I had hoped to. We had to rush through a few bits and pieces because we were a little late. Hopefully next session we will be able to start a little earlier. We will be able to get things rolling a little bit quicker. Oh, I'm happy with how that session turned out.
That
We
was
will
fun.
break the curse of the boxes.
Oh boy.
We didn't loot that chest yet. We'll have to do that before we head out or anything.
You'll have to remember
It's
to
kind
do
of
that.
freezing us to death.
Yeah, you know.
No, the one that was in that room as we walked down the stairs.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think we
there's-
should touch the freezy death chest. That's probably
Yeah.
not a good idea.
Considering it's a coffin,
At least not yet.
probably
At
not.
least not yet.
We'll come back at level 15.
Is
I just
this
got a
their way
text.
of keeping the bodies on ice?
Yes. That's good.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think Sliver is waiting for us, so I'm gonna switch Discord servers. Guys,
You're
it's
not
been
going to
fun.
wait for the XP?
Sure.
We gotta do XP.
Just do it. Send us a text with all that stuff.
I'm throwing you each 25 XP, essentially, for
Okay.
this session.
Okay, that's
Easy.
So yeah.
Uh,
And lying,
we're
you
fine.
get an extra 200 XP for generally just being here late, because,
Catching up.
yeah.
Where the hell is
I was here on
XP?
time. Thank you very much. I was the
Uh,
first person in this call.
It's on the stats section, and then you scroll down to profile.
But yeah. Okay.
Experience. How much are we getting again?
25.
25
25.
each, plus 200 for lying.
So I've got 245. Yay!
Okay.
215, baby.
So, that concludes today's session. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. I had a lot of fun. I certainly hope you did as well. Our next session is on the 11th. The 11th of May. Be there or be square. But yeah, the 11th of May, 6 p.m. We run these sessions once a month. We usually start at 6 p.m. UK time. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for joining us. Have a very good evening, and I will be back in about 10 minutes with some Trine 4, I believe, is today's game with Sliver and Siren.
Julio.
Have a good
Take care,
evening,
guys.
everyone.